It's really neat if you haven't heard about this, and not only the fact that the sport exists at the high school level, but we have a team right here in South Jersey sort of taking it to new heights, and we're talking about the St. Augustine Hermits. Joining us right now, Hermits assistant coach Brendan Towell. Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Doing well. I know you guys are feeling pretty good. Let's jump right in with the result yesterday, and you guys go up against a Christian Brothers Academy team in the state semifinals, and if we're being honest, you guys wax them. I mean, you move on to the state finals. How proud are you? How impressed were you with the performance yesterday from your team in advancing now to the state championship?
Oh, we're very proud, not just of the team that we played. I mean, CBA is a great squad. They came very well prepared for us, but our team rose to the occasion. We had actually one of our star players go down against CBA in the regular season, and we dedicated this game specifically to him. So it was great to see the kids rise to the occasion. Played a very well-prepared team, as I say, but we were able to pull out the win. It was 37-10 at the end of the day, and we advanced.
Let's back up a little bit, Coach, and I know we're talking about high school rugby, and some people might be scratching their heads. I mean, rugby's a fairly well-known sport. I mean, we don't talk about it a lot in South Jersey, certainly not at the high school level. How did the program come to be at St. Augustine, and when did you jump on? Sort of take me back to the history of things there in terms of the rugby program in Richland.
Sure. St. Augustine has had rugby probably since the spring of 2009. I came to the school the year afterwards, so I sort of came in, and the program was in its infancy, and I jumped in as an assistant coach, and it's sort of grown from there. I can't speak to exactly how the program came forward that year prior to my arrival, but after that it's grown significantly each year, and especially this year. Last year we fielded a squad of about 30 guys, and this year it was up to 50. And I think the growth of sevens at the national and international level has propelled the sport, as well as just a lot of our multi-sport athletes are looking to do something else. They're saying this could be a great sport for me, can help me in a variety of different ways, not just keeping me conditioned, but I can go on to play college rugby. I mean, all colleges and universities today practically in the United States have at least a club team. And even after college, the ability to play rugby exists. Many people don't know that it does, but it really does. And there's actually money to be had, scholarships and things like that as well, which more people are looking to say, wow, maybe football money is a little tapped, or wrestling or hockey, but rugby there might be a niche there for me, not only to achieve some championships, but also some scholarship opportunities.
So this is technically a club sport at St. Augustine. Is this technically an NJSIAA sanctioned sport, or are we not there yet?
Not quite there yet. There's a New Jersey State Championship, and it's been sort of in the hands of a few specific teams who I won't mention, but we're hoping to break into that rather exclusive club of mostly North Jersey schools. We are, as you had mentioned previously, really the only South Jersey rugby team at the school level. There are various different rugby club teams, but as far as having private schools, we're the only one down here. I'm hoping that some other of our contemporaries will join us, but for now we're holding the banner for South Jersey.
You and I have talked about this before, but rugby sort of gets a bad rap. I mean, especially for casual fans, they think it's, very a violent sport, but it's really not, and it's really in a lot of ways safer than football. And I know people will say, what? But explain that a little bit to our listeners, and also the second part of that question, Coach, is the camaraderie. I mean, you're going up against another team, but after the game, you're having a hamburger with them, you're having a soda with them.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as the violence part, I've talked about this with you as well. In football, especially, you have these parents who are football parents, and their kids are interested in rugby, but they're very hesitant because what don't you see right away? You don't see a helmet, you don't see padding, and immediately they think those are the things that keep my son safe. Well, if anyone follows sports, you know that that's not true. Often in football, you're taught to lead with the head because you have the helmet. See, and that gives a false sense of security. In rugby, we don't have any of those things. I mean, you have a mouthpiece, and that's it. So when we train our players, we train them to lead with the shoulder, to get lower, to wrap up, as opposed to maybe coming across the chest, leading with your head. So the concussion numbers are far lower than most people realize. As a matter of fact, we had a parent meeting earlier in the year for prospective players and their parents, and we actually brought in the school trainer, and he read the numbers off, and so many parents were so relieved when they realized, wow, this sport isn't what I thought, or maybe what movies have portrayed it to be. It's a lot safer than people realize.
Assistant coach, Brendan Towell of the Hermits Rugby program at St. Augustine, joining us right now on the South Jersey Sports Report. And then, Coach, I wanted to get into, yes, you want to beat the other team, but there's a camaraderie in rugby that doesn't really exist in a lot of other sports. Yes, you preach good sportsmanship, but it's sort of taken to the next level with rugby. And I know, I lived with some rugby players in college, so you're talking about some different activities after the game there in terms of hanging out with the other team. But, to keep it PG rated at the high school level, what do you guys do after the game, with the other team?
All right, perfect example is this, semifinal playoff game. We're hosting the CBA team, an A and a B team as well. So after the games are over, everybody gets together. Our parents have organized normally all of the food. We had a big cookout. There's burgers, there's hot dogs, there's sausage sandwiches. There's all kinds of desserts and all kinds of drinks, and everybody hangs out. See, because there's such a difference in space between a lot of our opponents and us. We don't get a lot of chance to hang out with them, to get to know them very well. So after the games, we often will hang out together, we'll talk rugby together, and it gives a great opportunity for sort of two rugby worlds, North Jersey and South Jersey, to get together, to compare notes, and just to come together as rugby players. It's a really great thing to see, and you don't see it enough in other sports. Everybody sort of jumps on the bus and you head home. In rugby, there's really no rush. You want to hang out, you want to get to know each other. It's really a great sort of like brotherhood of rugby players.
So how does this set up right now for the Hermits rugby team? You guys advanced to the state championship. That's 2 weekends away?
We do, yes. I'm waiting to hear the final result from the Del Barton St. Peter's Prep game, but we'll play the winner of that, and that looks like that's going to be at Craven Point in Jersey City on June 7th. We're still waiting to hear the time for that, but that's a couple weeks out. In between that, sandwiched in there, we're going to be training for the CRCs, which is a national sevens tournament. That's going to be at PPL Park in Chester. That's the weekend of the 29th to the 31st. So sort of in between there, we're going to take a team within our team, sort of an internal squad of about 12 players, and we're going to field a sevens team in that national tournament. I think it's up to right around 45 to 48 high school teams nationwide are going to compete in that, and some of that will be nationally televised. So keep your eyes on the Hermits.
And for that casual rugby fan, and to be honest, if you are a rugby fan in this area, most of them are casual fans. There's not a strong rugby presence, but how important or how cool would it be to go check out that action at PPL Park? We have some of obviously the best high school teams, college, pros in the world really coming to PPL Park on a regular basis for this sevens tournament.
You go to that sevens tournament and you pay that admission, what you're going to see is some of the best rugby, not just in the nation, but in the world. Some of those players are going to go on to play in college and then on international teams, possibly even, hopefully for USA Rugby as well. So you're really seeing the future, especially with high school, but certainly with college. You have a real opportunity to see basically the best of the best. So if you're interested in rugby, you really should go to that because that's going to give you the best sort of sampling of what American rugby has to offer right now.
And then we'll get you out of here with this question, Coach. It takes a different level of toughness to play rugby, obviously. And you talk about guys playing hurt in other sports. And at the high school level, if you're legitimately injured, they don't want you playing, obviously, with good reason. But, in terms of the toughness, you get some bumps and bruises in rugby. You just sort of throw that tape over the ear or wrap that hand. And if it's not a broken bone, let's put it that way, you're getting back out there. How tough do these kids have to be to play this sport?
Well, these kids are tough, and you know that coming in. Nobody signs up for rugby really not understanding that this is a sport that requires a certain degree of not just physical toughness, but mental toughness as well. And as I mentioned, we have a lot of multi-sport athletes who know what it takes, but our training process starts really in October, and we work out and we train all through the winter and into the spring. So they're very well prepared, whether it's in the gym, whether it's on runs, whether it's tackling practice, things like that. They're very well prepared. But we're very conscious of the injuries, and we always have at least one athletic trainer, and we also have a doctor on the sidelines as well, just to make sure that everything's safe. We're very mindful, of course, of concussions as well. So we've got our eyes on all of that, and because we're so large this year, we have a team of about 50. There's really no reason for us to leave a player out there in potential danger because we have so many capable. Our bench is the deepest it's ever been in the history of the school, and I can substitute literally a starter for a backup player, and they're pretty much equal in skill and ability. So we're very, very blessed and very lucky this year to have such a talented team.
A lot of big things happening this year with the St. Augustine rugby program. Again, getting a chance to play at PPL Park next weekend and then on to the state championship the weekend after. Assistant Coach Brendan Towell, thanks for taking the time. Really cool stuff going on there in Richland, and good luck to you and your guys the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks a lot. Go Hermits.
All right. Brendan Towell, Assistant Coach of the rugby team at St. Augustine.